Can I just pause for 1 second? I feel like I'm losing your audio a little bit.
Oh dear.
There we go. Okay. So, without being completely obvious, I was thinking it'd be nice to ask you a couple of Nightbreed related questions. I know you've just had a Nightbreed weekend, essentially, over in Belfast, but it really has grown in reputation over time. People people's love of it seems to have grown. Is that something that you expected when you signed on, that this was going to be something that had legs that lasted so long in people's hearts?
Running a theatre company, and we lived quite near one another in Islington. So I met him somewhere socially, and then we got to know each other. Then I was doing various things in the theatre, and one of the things I was doing was playing Mother Goose in Colchester. And Mother Goose had always been a great ambition of mine, because I was, as a child in Glasgow, a huge fan of Stanley Baxter, who was the definitive Mother Goose. And so having been asked to play it years ago now, but anyway, I did. And of course, lots of repartee with the audience and all that kind of stuff, which was what I think gave Clive the idea of casting as Narcisse in the film. And so I was offered it and accepted it, and turned out to be great fun. And it was a difficult situation because he'd done Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 2, huge successes. And Morgan Creek, this big American company, came and offered him the money to make Nightbreed from his novel Cabal. And I think they were tricky, and they kept kind of wanting things to be different and so on and so forth. And so we made the movie and made lots of friends, and it was quite a trial because you've seen the makeup's very elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to get picked up. I lived then in Victoria, in London, at something like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then pitched up to find which part did the makeup, the Gilgit. And it was great fun. And in fact, the makeup artist was just starting out, but he's now become a sort of legendary makeup person called Neil Burton. It was great. Anyway, I would arrive and I'd go to sleep and he'd do the makeup, blah, 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 and we made the film. Anyway, Clive said, it's going to be huge. You must come to LA for the launch. And I couldn't. I was doing something else after this. Meanwhile, Morgan Creek decided that they did various test screenings of the film, and the carriage had gone down really well, which was fantastic. So then there was talk of Nightbreed 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And so I thought, oh, my life's not going to be playing Narcisse. However, then what happened was that they had. I was at that point. Tell me if this is too long a story. It's all right. I'm just going on a bit.
No, not at all. Not at all. Go ahead.
So I was then at the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford, and my agent called and said, listen, they want to do some enhancement shots on that. They can change a few things. So they want to book you on 3 consecutive Sundays. So I would do the shows in Stratford, and the car would come pick me up at the station on a Saturday night and pick me up somewhere near Pinewood, and we would film on the 3 Sundays. And in the reshoots of the enhancement shoot, Narcisse, the character I was playing, was in the original version. He was beheaded, and in the enhancement shoot, he lived because presumably he had to last for the sequels. And so that's what happened. We filmed it, and then they put it So that's what happened. We filmed it, and then we put in the extra scenes, blah blah blah, and it opened and bombed big time. It was just it did marketing it badly, blah 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 blah. So then that was that, and I thought, well, we'll move on, forget about that. And then I can't remember how long ago now, 10 or 15 years ago, this great guy, Russell Charrington, got in touch and said they want to do something called the Cabal. They found some extra footage. They want to make something called the Cabal Cut, which they did. And then we went to various launches of that around the country. And fans kept popping out, and more fans kept popping out. And then finally, after that, there was the director's cut, which was actually sold for the first time in Belfast, which was great. In fact, lots of stuff has been restored, which they've found, and the narrative is much clearer. But they've gone back to the original ending for Narcisse,